All right, guys, back to work. Back to work. Hope you guys had a fantastic day today. And I missed you guys last night. That's right. We're back in the charts here tonight. And I'll tell you, boy, these markets have been pretty wild lately, huh? Big move up, big move down, lots of back and forth price action. But you know what? On the charts right now, there are a couple really important clues that are telling us this back and forth price action, it might be coming to an end for us tomorrow morning. We'll talk about why I say that, the clues I see in these charts here tonight. Most importantly, though, I have a number of really great trades I'm tracking for Friday morning. I'm going to give you guys a roadmap to make some money on these wild markets to finish up the week with some more green. Now, before we jump in to my favorite trades for Finally Friday, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You don't want to miss tomorrow night's video, so make sure you subscribe. And if you enjoy these videos, if you like these lessons, hit that like button, will you? And give me a shout out, give me a hell yeah down in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, supporting our YouTube channel. Enough of the intro though. Let's go make some money to finish up what's been a fantastic week so far. Charts are all ready to go in front of me. NASDAQ triple Qs are all ready. Oh, the E-mini and the SPY is ready. I have 4 really important clues on these charts right now that are telling us where the winning trades are probably waiting for us on Friday morning. 2 of those clues, right? 2 of those important clues are right here on the 60-minute, these hourly time frames. Looking at the S&P first, of course, the NASDAQ, very similar here. First clue. We've been talking about this all week. We had that big range to finish up the month of July. We had that big breakdown, and we've been talking about this all week. We've expected this market to pull back to the underbelly of that range before we get that next leg lower to take out that low. We still have not taken out the underbelly of that range. That's one very important clue. But what might be the most important clue on this hourly time frame, if you're taking my free video course right now, you know what is this pattern right here. This is what's called a bear trap pattern. It's a higher high in price. I move right below that low. Boy, the bulls gobbled that bear trap up. And I'll tell you, bear traps, you guys know this if you take my free video classes, these create a lot of bullish momentum. This may give the buyers the juice they need now to take out that breakout pullback area. Those are 2 very, very significant clues, again, on the S&P, and of course also similar scenario here on the NASDAQ. But by now, maybe you're wondering, wait a second, Joe, I've seen this before. Every time we keep going higher, this thing keeps on getting whacked back down, right? Every time we go higher, it keeps getting whacked back down. So why is this one different? Why is this one going to be different than the previous 2, 3 examples here we've seen so far this week? Well, I will tell you why this one may be different. The clue is on the tick charts. The faster time frames just might tip us off. This back and forth price action may be coming to an end tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a moment. I've got 2 more important clues to give us the roadmap we need to time the best entries for tomorrow. Before we do that though, let's check our schedule for Friday morning just to make sure we're all on the same page for tomorrow. There's no major news tomorrow, obviously, but most important thing for a Friday is, Fridays are not like any other day of the week. I have what's called the Friday mindset. When I get to my desk on a Friday, I know that the markets get illiquid as the day gets older. And also me personally, most human beings, we aren't very disciplined. We're lazy with our discipline as the day gets older. So my mindset on a Friday morning is much different than any other trading day of the week. I want to get in early when the markets are liquid and I'm at my best, right? When I'm most disciplined and most focused. I'm going to take some profit quickly. In my experience, the best way to hit the weekend is with green on the P&L. So take a quick profit target, remove risk quickly, get those stops bumped up to point of entry, and leave a runner. Go back and look for yourself. About 50% of all the Fridays, they love to run. I'll tell you, you get one run on a Friday afternoon, you can make your entire week, your entire month. So Friday mindset. Get in early when I'm at my best and the markets are liquid. Take that profit quickly. Let's finish up the week with some green. Get rid of the risk, protect capital, and leave the runner, because I'll tell you, those Friday runners can really make us some bank. Now, back to our charts though, because the mindset's important. No major news for tomorrow. Let's now go over the favorite trades here for tomorrow. I mentioned earlier, I have 2 more just important clues here on some faster time frames, some tick charts, because why is this different? Why shouldn't this thing run back down again? And it certainly may. We're definitely in an overall bear market right now. But let's go look at the tick charts here. The tick charts are giving us, I think, a lot more clues we can work with. One clue here right now on the tick chart is this trading range. Now, in the free trading classes, we talk about ranges, right? Ranges love to rotate. They rotate up, and down. Now, why is this important? Well, because when these triangles, when these rotations, when they get really wide, this creates a lot of momentum. And that momentum is stronger right now than it has been the rest of the week this week. That's a very big clue. When we widen out, when this range widens out like that, it's very difficult to stop that freight train. One more final clue is this is a huge, huge move. Now, a big move like this, anytime I see a big move like this, I don't want to buy high. I want to buy low, especially because with all these tops up here, you know the bears are going to probably try to whack that thing right back down again. Whenever I see a big move in one direction, there's always two types of trades I look for the following day. One of them is very easy, very consistent. The second one is the most profitable. We'll talk about the first one, the easiest one first. Later on in this video, though, you'll want to watch all the way to the end. We'll talk about the second scenario, which I think is the most profitable one on the NASDAQ here in just a moment. So, first one of two different trades to look for tomorrow is a two-legged pullback and a retest of that high. Again, a lot of momentum on the move going higher. Let's get these bears to come in, whack this thing down, and run this thing back up. Now, if we're smart about this, we can make money with a reversal pattern on the way off the highs. There are multiple ways to time the perfect entry on the two-legged pullback and then add to our position as the market rolls back up to that high. So first scenario, again, two scenarios to track for tomorrow. The first one is a two-legged pullback and a retest of the high. Let's break down how to time the entries on these. And then again, we'll go to the second scenario here on the NASDAQ. Let's talk about that two-legged pullback. My favorite reversal pattern in a situation like this is what I call a crown reversal. Crown reversal patterns are very simple. It's a lower low in price and move just above that high, a strong red candle closing below that 21 EMA, and that will give us that crown reversal. We saw one only 24 hours ago, right? We saw it go up where buyers came in once, buyers came in twice. That is called a crown reversal, and a lot of you guys made some pretty good bank on that same pattern. So this crown reversal is how I want to pick that top during that pullback. Now, a heads up on this. This is very bullish here in the short term. This is a half-size position, at least in my eyes. This is the most difficult part of the process. I always go half-size position whenever I'm going against all of that momentum. That's the first way to do it on the pullback. Now, pay attention. This usually becomes a two-legged pullback. Now, when I say two-legged pullback, think about a measured move, right? One leg, two leg. It's a measured move that goes a bit too far. Think about 120%, 130%. That deep, deep pullback. This will get the sellers overextended at those lows and give the buyers a chance to squeeze this thing back up again. Now, you know me, right? I'm not going to pick a bottom on this. Sometimes those two-legged pullbacks, they keep on going, right? I'm not going to blindly pick the bottom on this. What I'll do is watch closely. We're going to put together what's called a failure into bear trap combination, a failure pattern. These are simple. On the pullback, and again, I don't know how far it will pull back. It may crush all the way back down again, because again, we're an overall bear market. But if I pull back to the moving average and I see bears try once and bears try twice, now you're trapped in, and now I can run your stops for a move back up to retest the high. In the free video course, we call this a failure pattern. It's basically one try for the bears, two try for the bears, and then use those stops. If you're caught short, you get stopped out, you're buying your way out. Much better than picking the bottom of that move. Now, one more pattern. As we go higher, this is very, very important. I want to see separation off the 21 EMA. This yellow line is the 21 EMA. I want to see separation off of 21 EMA. I want to go see a higher high in price and a move just below that low, that is a trap pattern. In this case, it's a bear trap pattern. Let me teach inside the free video course. So on the pullback, it's a crown reversal. It's a lower low in price and we'll jump up the high we saw over there, right? Crown reversal pattern. Then think about two-legged pullback, right? Bit more than a measured move. Let's trap in those sellers with that failure pattern. And then speaking of traps, a technical trap pattern, higher high in price, below that low. Remember, the key to this one is that separation off of that 21 that we saw right there, right? Beautiful example, shallow pullback, separation, bear trap right there. That's the sequence. And that's one of two sequences I'm looking for tomorrow. Now, let's slow down for a second, though, because I know most of you guys watching right now, you know these patterns, right? You're making money with crown reversals, failures, and trap patterns. But if you're watching for the first time right now, what the heck is all this? This might be a brand new strategy, a brand new language for you. Don't you worry though. I teach the entire strategy. I have hundreds of examples of bull traps, failure patterns, crown reversals. I cover this in so much more detail in our free video classes. I'll put a link up top for you. Don't you worry. Upper right hand corner, grab that link that popped up there and take that free trading course, because the strategy I teach in that video series will teach you a simple trick we use in our members trade room that tells us where the best winning trades are going to be each day. More importantly, I want to help you start making money on your own. I'll teach you 4 my favorite entry patterns, failures, pullback combinations, lots of trap patterns. Guys, the markets are way too good right now not to be making consistent money. If you're missing the best trades today, if you're serious about making money in these great markets, hit the link up top there, take that free course, learn the roadmap. Everyone loves that free video course. Also, too, don't forget, too, I'm going to put all the important links in the description of the YouTube video. I'll put the free class links down there. Start first, learn this roadmap. Also, too, we trade together every morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time. In our trade room, I'll put trade room information description there as well. And don't forget too, I post a lot of videos and charts and updates on Twitter or X. If you're on Twitter X, give me a follow. Again, all the details you need in the description of that YouTube video. But again, start first on that free video course. Learn the setups, start making money on your own. Everyone loves that free video course. So now you know one of the core setups we look for here for tomorrow. Let's talk about 2 slight variations of that first kind of sequence for tomorrow. For example, one variation of, we may get that crown reversal. We may get that nice deep 2-legged pullback, but you know what? Sometimes there's so many buyers down here, we don't get the chance to trap the bears in with a failure pattern. Sometimes the market V-bottoms off of these lows and it just whoop right back up again. If this happens, here's what I always look for. Watch as the market now grinds and goes higher. Very important. If we V-bottom off that low and we start grinding up the chart like that, I'm going to draw a trend line off the highs, bring that trend line down off those lows, then look left, find some prior swings, and don't miss the first test off the low of that new channel. Whatever you do, do not chase this thing going higher. When to buy low, your patience be rewarded on this. And I want a bear trap right here, below prior swing. This could be a bear trap. It could be a seller failure pattern, a pullback combination. Again, you guys will learn the entry tactics we use inside that free video course. A V bottom, although not my favorite entry, my goal tonight is to give us a roadmap that we, no matter what the market throws at us, you're ready to capitalize on it. So if we don't get that entry down here and it whoop right backs up again, right? Don't chase it, new channel, mark off that high, off that low, and grab that first test of the low of that channel. Also too, one more thing we'll be aware of is oftentimes we'll get this market to pull back for us. We'll get this 1, 2, and this failure pattern going higher. But because this range is right there, oftentimes ranges like to break out pullback. Oftentimes we'll hold the underbelly of that range. Just so you know, whenever I take a deep pullback like this and I see a range like that, I'd like to take some profit off at the underbelly of that range, because then ranges love to break out pullback. So if for some reason I get that 1-to-1, stop moves up to point of entry because it's a Friday morning, and this thing gets whacked back down again, I'm looking at this as a double bottom retest. Double bottoms are very, very common, especially in a situation like this where we're overall bearish on the 60-minute time frame. So don't be surprised if we run lower, get a nice bounce back up, but the bears come in and sell on that breakout pullback underbelly. Now think about this. Anyone who sells on that breakout pullback, where would their first target be? Back down to retest the low. The way I see this is the sellers up here become buyers down here. This is a horrible spot to be selling. So if we're lucky tomorrow, we'll get another bite at the apple. We'll come back again. We won't pick the bottom here. Let this thing pull back to that moving average once, twice, and do it again. It is literally the carbon copy, the same pattern again. It's a two-try failure along with higher high in price. Remember, separation off the moving average works best for these, and a bear trap going higher. These are called double bottom retests, right? Makes sense? First one goes back, do it again. Failure into trap combination. And last but not least here, final variation. We'll jump over the NASDAQ here. Talk about scenario number 2. If this thing starts to grind higher, right? If we keep on grinding higher, I do still want to get that two-legged pullback, the same game plan. However, sometimes what happens is because we have that very strong rotation and because we haven't completed that breakout pullback zone, this thing may begin to squeeze running higher here. If all we get is a one-legged pullback right now, look for a shallow pullback trap. A shallow pullback trap looks like this. It's bears trying once, higher high, bears trying twice. I want to get in. Remember, very important. In this scenario, I'm not buying very low. I'm not getting that deep two-legged pullback to give me the chance to buy nice and low and trap the bears in. In this situation, I'm buying relatively high. So again, if this thing starts to kind of grind higher here with that breakout pullback zone, still waiting to get tested, if all we get is a shallow pullback, look for these bears to come in. Try once, try twice. It's a higher high in price. I move right below that low. Again, it looks just like this one, right? The same pattern, right? A lot of examples of these inside the free video course. If all we get is a one-legged pullback, right? If this thing goes racing lower, one leg, right? One leg, it's bears once, bears twice, get that bear trap, and then whoop, right back up to retest the high. Leave that runner, right? Because tomorrow, again, is a Friday. All right, boy, I'm getting excited just talking about this stuff right now. So that's one sequence to look for and a couple of variations, of course, here on the chart in front of us. Now, let's go to the NASDAQ here right now. The NASDAQ is very similar to the S&P. Once again, two big important clues on this hourly time frame. One is that trading range. Ranges, when they break out, they like to pull back before we make that run going lower. Also, too, in the NASDAQ, a beautiful example. Got a bunch of emails about this morning. Beautiful example as this thing grinds higher. A classic example of draw a trend line off the highs, mark that low. Do you see how this is the first test of that channel low? These bear traps, again, oftentimes, they V-bottom, we grind up, like I showed you before, grind up, mark that low, right there, get that first test is the best test. That's the exact same pattern I showed you there a few moments ago. Now again, this oftentimes produces some very strong momentum. Those are two important clues on the 60. But again, maybe you're wondering, well, what's different, right? Why is this one different? Well, again, go back to our tick charts right now. On the tick charts, you'll notice there's that trading range again, been rotating back and forth off that range, and now here we are. When these things widen out like this, this is a lot of bullish momentum. It may not be as easy this time to stop these buyers. Look at the size of this move compared to that previous move, right? The bears had it pretty easy back there. That's a pretty easy short off that high. This one, again, the bears have all the control in the long term, but this is a very, very strong move off of that low. So two scenarios whenever I see a big move like this. One of them is that two-legged pullback we mentioned before on the S&P, the exact same scenario we mentioned before on the E-mini. So take the game plan off the S&P chart, overlay it on the NASDAQ chart, and you pretty much have the game plan on the NASDAQ as well. Now, let's talk about what I think is the easier trade for tomorrow, and if we're lucky, be a lot more lucrative. After a big move like this, we oftentimes go sideways into a trading range. Let's talk about this right now, because ranges, you know me, right? I love ranges for a reason, because ranges are the easiest ones to make money. The two most important things you want to learn about ranges is that ranges are magnets and ranges love to rotate. So first of all, anytime we see a range on the chart, we know that range becomes a magnet, okay? If you understand that now think about if that's a magnet and get a big move up, I would like to get that nice deep pullback. What I always do is try to find levels of support. Like I love that range back there, right? That range has not given us a breakout pullback yet. I would love to pull back to the top of that trading range and use that range as a breakout pullback. Ranges love to break out pullback. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know how far that pullback will be, right? It may go a lot further than that. I don't know. It's an overall bear market. What I do know though is that once we get that nice deep pullback now, this is a horrible spot to be a seller. You're selling very low after a big move up like this. So I want to be a buyer down here, not a seller. But again, I'm not going to try to pick the bottom on this. I'm not going to blindly buy into support because look what happens, right? They oftentimes just keep on going. And that may happen tomorrow as well. What I will do is wait for those bears to come in. Let them try once. Let them try twice. Why twice? Because now I have your stops. And now if you fail, those sellers get squeezed, right? Their stops get hit and everyone starts buying. Now here's where the magic happens in a range and why I said ranges are the most lucrative or usually the most lucrative. Now in comes that bear trap pattern. Remember, the best ones have separation just above that 21 EMA. I want to see higher highs in price, mark off that low, and there is that trap pattern. Now pay attention now. We mentioned on Fridays, leave a runner. This is your failure pattern, two-try failure, into that technical bear trap pattern. We'll take half off, quarter off, top of that range, and remember, ranges love to rotate. The amount below the range becomes projected now above the range, and that becomes that final target to leave that runner. Okay, this is why ranges are so easy. They love to rotate, and again, what they be a lot more lucrative than simply a pullback in a trending environment. Again, that failure into bear trap combination. Now, let's kick this up one more notch because I think you can handle it. A little more advanced here. Let's go one step higher the ladder up here now. Now the fun begins. If we start going sideways, what oftentimes happens in these situations is we'll run up and fake out breakout off that high. Okay, if this happens, this is a good thing. It's a good thing because first of all, I can use that same crown reversal pattern. What was it again? It was a lower low in price, move right above that high. Again, I call these crown reversals. That crown reversal pattern is an easy way. And again, half size position, quarter size position. You can do whatever you want, right? You can make this in whatever you want. But in my style of trading, it's a half size trade, a quarter size trade because again, you're going against all of that momentum. That is the crown reversal. Now remember, the amount above that range, we cannot project down below that range. This is where bear traps love to live. While all the rookie traders confuse this for a full-blown reversal, most of us know better than that by now, and we wait for now that same idea, right? As it rotates lower, bears once, bears twice, trap those bears in. That's a failure pattern. And again, as always, that failure pops back up. Everyone gets squeezed. We separate off that moving average. And this is where everybody scrambles to get back in on the way back higher. Now remember, these love to rotate, right? The amount below, the amount above, leave that, right? Leave that runner. Again, most of it comes off. Most of the trade comes off at the top of that range. Don't be greedy. Remember I said earlier, right? Get some bank, right? Lock up some profit, but leave a runner, right? Leave a runner of that pendulum swing going higher. All right, guys, fantastic game plan for tomorrow. The big question is, right, is this back and forth price action? Are we coming to an end tomorrow on Friday morning? Only time will tell, but now get a game plan to capitalize if I'm right about this for tomorrow. Now, don't forget, guys, tomorrow morning, every morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time, come trade this stuff with us. The markets are wild right now, but I'll tell you, it's so much easier to start making money in these markets when you learn it and trade it with us every morning in our trade room. I'll put all the important links tonight in the description of the YouTube video. Again, start first with the free video course. Learn the strategy, learn the roadmap. For most folks, start making money on your own with that free video class. Learn that first, and hopefully sometime soon you'll see you trading with us in the morning room as a brand new member. In the meantime, guys, hope you learned a bunch here tonight. Hope you use this knowledge to make a killing on Friday morning. And as always, be well, be nice to each other out there, and you better be here next time. Adios, amigos. Bye for now.